right, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and reconvene our board meeting for today, September 14th. E, reconvene to open session. F, announcement of actions taken in closed session. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you very much, President Alvarado, Board of Trustees, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. It is with a lot of excitement and honor that I share with you that today in closed session, the board took action on all three of these recommendations by motion by Mr. Enrique Alvarado and second by Ms. Maggie Magallanes, and a vote of 4-0 with Mr. Lorenzo Calderon being absent today, to approve the appointment of Mr. Jaime Santos as principal to Blanche Charles Elementary School. To approve the appointment of Ms. Delia Tovar as assistant principal to Calexico High School. And to approve the appointment of Ms. Erica Hermosillo as coordinator of expanded learning. And to our newly appointed administrators, the board has asked if you want to share a brief couple words to the audience here and to our school district community. So if I could ask the three of you to come up to the podium and share a few words of brief. John wants to get home to NFL football right now, you know. Thursday night football.
There wasn't a mic I didn't like. Good evening, or it could be afternoon. My name is Jaime Santos. I just want to say thank you to the board. Thank you for your consideration. I want to give special thanks to our superintendent, Mr. Jimenez, and Mr. Romel, Mr. Guerrero, for making me go through this process. I had been absent for 3 years, and I took a little hiatus. And if any of you know Mr. Ariola, he told me I had to bring a tie because I've been wearing too many polos and too many T-shirts to work. Now I have to dress up for the occasion. So I said, okay, I will. And so thank you once again. My family couldn't be here, and I feel not upset, but disappointed that they couldn't make it. But my sons are in the band, and they have a football game tonight. So they're playing tonight for the first time together. So they might watch this in television land somewhere, and hopefully in the not so distant future. But they're performing right now as we speak. So thank you once again. Before I end anything, I'd like to also thank Mr. John Moreno. Mr. Moreno, if anything, gave me the opportunity to go into alternative ed as a teacher, which I believe this journey that I have now as a principal has helped me at least believe that I can be a better principal because of that experience. So John, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm excited to work at Blanche Charles. Go Dolphins. That's what I say. So, amen. Thank you so much, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Santos. Congratulations.
Ms. Tovar? Yes, Ms. Tovar?
It should have been ladies first.
You jumped right in there, Mr. Santos.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Mr. Jimenez, and to the rest of the audience and family members here. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. It took me a minute. This is my 17th year with the school district, I believe, and it isn't until now that I'm taking this leap. I'm excited. I am also a Bulldog at heart. I graduated 2001. Mr. Moreno was my vice principal. Mr. Santos was my vice principal, and at one point, and he was also my vice principal as me being a teacher at Calexico High School. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what positive impacts I can bring to CHS. And I do want to also take a moment to say my whole family couldn't be here, but part of them are here. My aunt, who also played an important role in my life and in my upbringing, my daughter, my son, and my nieces. Unfortunately, my husband is in Texas for training, and he couldn't be here, and my parents are streaming it on YouTube. So with that said, I also want to point out that my kindergarten teacher, my first grade teacher, and my long-term sub in third grade are all three of them are back there, sitting there. Ms. Paramo, Ms. Urich, and back then Ms. Gomez. And so that was a very sweet surprise to walk into when I walked in today. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. And that's all.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Tavares. And to your former teachers, you see what your work, the impact that you guys have. Let all your teacher friends know the impact that you guys have. You guys make a difference. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. And Ms. Hermosillo?
Hello, everyone. I wasn't prepared for this, for the speaking part. Well, good evening. My name is Erica Hermosillo. Thank you to everyone. And I look forward to working with this great team, with the Sparks team, and to continue serving the families in our community. I'll be brief. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Congratulations. We're going to go and jump into G, presentation. 1, judges in the classroom. Your Honor, Mr. Domazin. Judge Domazin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President Alvarado. This time, for our members of our community and our audience, we do have our distinguished judge from Imperial County Court here, Mr. Judge Thompson, and he's going to do a brief presentation on the program of judges in the classroom.
All right. So good evening, everyone. Thank you again to the board for allowing me some time to present you with more of an update to the program. Of course, I was here last year and I discussed the program with you all. I had some handouts last year. I figured I'd skip that. I'm actually very happy that, Kiki, you got me scheduled in when you guys are installing new administration, because I think this is going to be great for them to hear as well. Just an update on the program. As many of you, I think, are already aware, we have the Judges in the Classroom program that was put into place by the Judicial Council some years back. Unfortunately, it really started taking off right at 2019, and then a little something happened in 2020. And the program, by and large, really had not gained the traction that we hoped it would at the court. I was happy that last year, after I came in to this session and discussed the Judges in the Classroom program with the board, we actually had quite a bit of outreach from Calexico. I was able to do 3 visits that school year and then another 3 in Heber. But the total visits for that year for districts all around the county was 6. 6 Judges in the Classroom presentations. Because there were so little, I actually did each and every one of them. But we do have many other judges in the Superior Court who can come and present. I'm happy to say that this year, the schools have really taken off. We have 14 requests this year just from schools here in Calexico. So we've had 11 from Dual and 3 from Maines. One of the things that I'm trying to update the districts on is that this year we've actually tailored some programs. Now, again, many of you are familiar, and I know Mr. Alvarado has the link to the Judges in the Classroom that I'm sure he can provide to you or has already been provided to you. The lesson plans are laid out within those, and for the administrators, if you or anyone in your school, your teachers, want a judge to come out to the classroom, they're designed to be presented in an hour to an hour and a half to allow questions from the children, and the lesson plans vary. We have lesson programs dealing with Cesar Chavez, and Si Se Puede. We have the Salem Witch, constitutional law, Fourth Amendment, and the great thing about these programs and the website in particular is it actually lays out the grade levels which these programs are designed for. And we have everything from K all the way through senior of high school. One of the things that we're doing this year is we are trying to work with certain schools or teachers. If they have something specific to their lesson plans that they'd like us to present, we can work with them. One of the other things that we did, it's not Judges in the Classroom, but some of you may be familiar, especially those who work out at Calexico High School. Last year, the California 4th DCA, the District Court of Appeal, actually held a special session in El Centro. So it was an actual appellate court argument. There were 2 cases on, criminal cases. And all of these school districts, the high schools throughout Imperial County, were invited. Several judges, including myself, came out to the different schools, and we actually gave the students a primer on trial courts as well as appellate courts. And I actually came here to Calexico and did Calexico High's presentation, and they came obviously to the appellate arguments, and it was a really great experience. What we've done this year is we've taken that program, that presentation that we did with the high schools, and we've added that as one of the possible things that we can go out and do with the students as well. Provides a really good primer for them, especially those who are interested in law, especially for the older children, kids who may want to get into mock trial or thinking about law school in their future. And we also have a procedural presentation that we do that talks about basically everything from the arrest process to what happens through conviction. So a really good primer for students who are interested in law enforcement, for instance, or a career in law enforcement. And we're really happy. Besides the 14 that we have from Calexico, I've actually got one scheduled already tomorrow in El Centro at Kennedy Middle School. There's some scheduled in Brawley already. We have some in Heber already. So the program, thanks in part, I think, to you because, monkey see, monkey do. I think a lot of people hear how well the program goes, and then suddenly we get a lot more requests. A big thank you to you guys for allowing me to come in last year, allowing the program to be expanded, and I look forward to presenting for the schools again this year and then hopefully some new schools with the administration. So, thank you so much for your time, and again, thank you for helping us with the program.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. So H, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. No comments. I, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any item is pulled for separate consideration and action.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on now to J, information items. One, superintendent's report.
Thank you so much, President Alvarado. I'm very excited to share with you some hot off the press news that we're working on. We working with our CTE staff, our teachers in the CTE program, have been working with IVC, our Imperial Valley Community College, the best community college in the nation, as identified by that organization, to articulate our CTE courses. And what this means is if we're articulated with IVC, and there's work involved, we got to look at the course syllabus, we got to look at the course description, we got to look at the textbook, we got to look at the assessments. But if we're able to articulate with IVC, that means that our students here at Calexico High School, Calexico Unified School District, when they complete this course and pass the assessment, they get college credit. And so when they go to college, they don't have to take that course anymore because they already passed it while they were high school students at Calexico High School. So I'm excited to share that we're already in the process of articulating 5 CTE courses with IVC. We are articulating 2 welding courses with Mr. Camarillo, welding and advanced welding, 3 auto shop courses with Mr. Fisher, introduction to auto shop, and advanced auto shop. We're also working on articulating, and we're working on this right now, 2 computer application classes with Mrs. Laura Padilla, 1 medical assistant course with Ms. Norma Galindo, and 1 law enforcement course with Mr. Mike Davies, and 2 medical response systems courses with Mr. Humbert Felix. As I said, by articulating our courses with IVC, upon completion and passing of the assessment, our students will receive college credit for those courses. And finally, something that we're also working on right now is looking at a national accreditation program for our law enforcement academy. And this is something that I think this year we're going to look at and support our law enforcement academy here at Calexico High School. But if we're able to do that, the status that would give our law enforcement a pathway here at Calexico High School will be incredible. And if we're able to qualify and be able to get that done. So I'd like to thank our CTE staff at Calexico High School for their commitment and their dedication, and because this is good for kids. This is right for kids. I'd like to thank our CTE staff, our CTE teachers. I'd like to thank Mr. Moreno, our principal at Calexico High School. I'd like to thank Ms. Gabby Williams, our new Senior Director of College and Career Ready, for also facilitating this process and working with Mr. Moreno. It's a little bit different because Gabby just recently was the principal at Calexico High School, but now she's in the new role. So I said, work with Mr. Moreno, work with the principals, facilitate the process, be the resource. But, the principals have to be there in the front. So I like to thank the collaboration between Gabby and Mr. Moreno, John, to bring these good things to our kids. And finally, I'd like to thank our partners with IVC. I'd like to maybe in the future, President Alvarado, we could invite our IVC partners to one of our board meetings, and so that the board could also personally give them the thanks, and together with our staff, they could do a co-presentation on our CTE. Something I just remembered with IVC right now, we currently have, I believe, it's about 165 students who are also dual enrolled with IVC, 165 of our high school kids. That means that they're taking a dual enrolled class with IVC. Again, if they pass that class, they get college credit, and when they go to college, that class is already taken for. So good work, and we're taking total advantage of the best community college school in the nation, and working with them and taking advantage of the programs and the collaboration. And I want to thank the IVC partners for their work on that as well. Finally, I'm excited to share and to encourage all of you to come out and support our Lady Bulldogs. This year, we started a flag football team, and I went to my first ever organized flag football high school game that I've ever been to, and it's exciting. It's fun. It's fast paced. We have the drum line out there. For being such a new program, I mean, I think more than half of the stadium was full. We had kids, we had parents, we had community members out there. So I want to encourage our community, anyone listening here on live streaming, come out and support our Lady Bulldogs. They're having a great year. They're off to a great start. It's a fun game. I was impressed. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it, how much fun I had. I was sitting there with Mr. Moreno and all of the football coaches, and I think the football coaches want to recruit some of the Lady Bulldogs for the football team. So it's very, very exciting. And then also talking about new programs. This year, for the first time in, 5-6 years or something like that, we also are in the process of starting a freshman football team. And we haven't had a freshman football team in quite a while. And in the past couple of years, between our junior varsity team and our varsity team, we probably had a total of about 50 kids total. Today, we have about 50 kids in the varsity team and 50 kids in the junior varsity team, and about 25 kids in the freshman team. So Mr. Mano Gonzalez is looking for freshman games because not all the school districts have them. We're buying new equipment and helmets and shoulder pads and uniforms because 3 weeks ago we didn't have one. But we asked the kids, do you guys want to play football? And they came out, and they're coming out. And we still have applications that have to clear, about 12 applications that need to clear. So we might end up with 35 plus freshman kids. So it's a great training camp for junior varsity and varsity. We're very excited. But support our clubs, support our sports, our schools, and there's a lot of good things happening Calexico Unified. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you for that,
Alvarado.
Mr. Jimenez.
So Mr. Alvarado, President Alvarado reminded me that we also had a recent promotion that took place at our last board meeting on the classified side of the house from one of our very, very long-term classified employees who has been with us for a very long time. And Mr. Alvarado saw him out in the crowd and asked me to also introduce him to the community and ask him if he could also share a few words. But Mr. Mike Wilcox is now our supervisor of maintenance and operations. Mr. Wilcox. Mr. Wilcox has been with us, I know, for over 20-some years, I believe, and
This is number 29.
29 years.
I'm starting. Yeah.
And so, Mr. Wilcox, a few words.
Yeah, I was hired on as an electrician back in 1995. Pretty much all my career I've been an electrician. I'm looking forward to the new challenges, and there have been a lot of them in my short time. When I hired on here, there was an individual named Jack Goat. I don't know if anybody remembers that name. And he made a statement that it was nice to have another blonde. And no, he just said blonde. And I looked at him and I'm like, no, you're gray. Well, here I am now. But anyways, pretty much everybody here knows who I am. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the challenges.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox, for that. We'll go on with number 2, board reports. We'll start off with our student, Ciara.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. To start off, I wanted to thank you guys because we have some shades in school and it's fresher. But I also wanted to ask or recommend that maybe having a fresh areas during both lunch times, as it is very hot outside, and this week it was very humid. And well, the shade does protect us from the sun, but it doesn't protect us from the heat. And well, personally, I got very sick on Monday from the heat, and other friends also as well. And well, it would be good to have a fresh area to go to when it's really hot. And I also wanted to let you guys know that currently there's only one restroom during lunch times, and it is the smaller ones. The girls' restrooms only have 3 stalls, and it's very hard to go to the restroom. And well, I just wanted to let you guys know, and well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that report, and we'll look into that. Actually, if we could start looking into that.
Yes, thank you. And I know that also Mr. Moreno was going to start a student advisory club. I'm not exactly sure of the name, but where maybe some of these concerns or questions or ideas could be brought up and not have to wait until once a month at a board meeting. So, we could address these things more promptly and try to find solutions to these things, sooner than having to wait for a board meeting. But thank you very much. I know we're definitely will follow up on your concerns. Thank you, Ciara.
Thank you, Ciara. Mr. Contreras?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody that just got appointed to do something new, right? And moving on with your careers and, making our unified school district a lot stronger, right? I think it's it keeps on growing, where we have a lot more family members coming in to see the inductions or you guys moving forward, and that's always a good thing. And I also got a couple of calls from different people, that were in different positions to thank me, and thank the board on allowing them to put their foot forward on a lot of this stuff. And so we keep on looking forward towards having a better year every time, right? We're looking at that at the high school. There's a lot of movement, a lot of new people taking new challenges, and that's kind of what we wanted to see this year, and making sure that we just continue to strengthen our district and our schools. Thank you.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Contreras. Mr. Pacheco?
Thank you. Had a chance to go to back to school night. I went to 2 sites. I went to Dual and to Rockwood, and everybody was smiling and had their best Sundays on, and everybody looked like a professional teacher. No gym shorts and no, you know what I mean? They look professional. So back to school night was I signed in. They went, "Who in the heck is this guy?" So I signed the. When you sign in, to visit as a visitor, so I had to put my name and I had to put everything there so they could know who was there. But I did that, and then I had a chance to go to the high school Wednesday, and it was warm, extremely hot. I noticed that when the cafeteria, they've got 2 serving lanes. If the line is too long, the kids leave and they want to go around to the trailer and to the other 2 little carretitas that they have. And sometimes they run out of pizza. But it was a second lunch, so maybe pizza was the number 1. But there was a lot of options for them, handheld salads and a hamburger, but no cheeseburgers. But everything was there, but extremely hot. And I noticed as I walked around, and I said, "Well, where are the restrooms?" Exactly. He says, "Well, we need some, Mr. Pacheco." I was talking to the proctors and the VPs that were there. So we'll look into it, I said, and the possibility of maybe hiring more proctors. I don't know if that's an issue. There's not nice little portable restroom that's not connected yet next to the office, I believe. They're waiting to get that. That'll help out, but it's not connected yet. Yeah, Mike?
Yes, that got connected this week. Mike, do you have an update on that? You want to? Sure, please. On the podium.
As of today, the electrical and the plumbing have been hooked up. I think they're still pending the custodial putting in their paper supplies and stuff like that. So it's at the high school now.
Yeah, good to go.
So it should be in just a few days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That was a concern for staff. Today I had a visit. I went to Rockwood and KG. I visited 3rd grade at Rockwood, and I visited 4th grade at KG. Walked around with the principal, and we had a nice little tour, and we talked about the classes and what's going on. They're concerned about working with, I don't know, you coordinate everybody, and you have everybody at a table, and everybody's doing puzzles, and you're doing
Centers.
you're doing puzzles, and you're doing tacticals, and you're doing games, and teacher directed. So there was concerns about that. So I don't know. I did ask for a survey in June about this program to get some insights on how the teachers feel about the program. I'm still wanting to get that so we can work with staff and get everybody on the same page. If we can continue with that. And I know it's here to stay, and now we're doing math with that program too. So just to get our stakeholders and our teachers informed of what we want them to do and what we can do to make things better for them. That's it.
Mr. Pacheco, thank you for your report. As far as for me, I just want to thank everybody for showing up here to today's meeting. For all those that you got promoted, the new positions, congratulations. And we're excited to have you guys here. Just like Mr. Jimenez stated, there's a lot of good things going on right now at our district, and we got to focus on that. There is some things that we're seeing at the high school that should have been planned out ahead of time and stuff as far as that goes, but that's some of those things, and we shouldn't have to be waiting to get, certain things for our students as far as that goes, especially with the restrooms and stuff like that. I think that's something that should have been, ahead of time, but that's something that we're learning from and stuff like that as far as that goes. I know as soon as everything's over and done with, it's going to be like the Taj Mahal of the Imperial Valley, and it's going to be one of those beacons of that's here, at any school district. There's not going to be another school district that's going to look as far as, this high school goes and stuff like that as far as that goes. And as far as our high school team, football team, they're doing great. They're 5-0, if I'm not 4-0, and our flag football team is 3-0, correct? And they're undefeated. Every team that they've been facing has been blowouts as far as that goes. And I do, plan on going out and seeing at least our flag football team out there and seeing how they're doing and stuff like that. Because that's one of those things I see it every now and then on VSN, but it's just the real quick highlights. But that's something I think that VSN should take, some part in and start, televising some of that. Mr. Moreno, just, FYI, just in case. But as far as that goes, we'll go ahead and move on with our meeting. Discussion regarding nominations for potential candidate for intended appointments to District Personnel Commission Governing Board appointing.
Thank you, President Alvarado. So the Calexico Unified School District is a merit district, which means that we have a personnel commission. The personnel commission consists of 3 personnel commissioners. One of the personnel commissioners is selected by the board. And so when that position becomes open, it's the board's requirement to select a member to represent on the personnel commission. The board's selection is becoming open, and so we're required now to begin the process of selecting the board selection for the personnel commission. So what we need tonight from the board to us, to staff, is direction on that process. So the board could select somebody and say, we want person X, and that's who the board selects. Or the board could give direction and say, well, can you send out an inquiry form? Can you send out an interest form or an application, if you will, to the community and see who might be interested? And if there's only one person interested, or there's 2 or 3 or 4, bring us those names, and then at that point, we could review the names that are selected, whether it be one or more than one. And then at that point, what the board will then do is have what's called intent to nominate or intent to appoint. And then there's like a 45-day review for a public hearing opportunity and all that sort of stuff. And then it's finalized, I believe, sometime in late November or December. And then the nominee gets installed in somewhere right around December. So I need direction from the board to say we either we want to nominate a certain person, and we want to do that for the September 28th board meeting, or could you bring us names? And if we go that route, for example, I would send out a notification through our Remind and our website and whatnot, and inform the community that what the position is, what the position does. If there's anybody interested, please fill out this form, this brief form, submitted by a certain deadline, and then I would bring it to the board at the September 28th board meeting and say, at that point, it would read something to the extent of the board intends to nominate person A or person B or person C or person D. We would have the names on the agenda. The board nominates one of those persons, and then we move forward with the 45-day timeline, and then the final approval in December, I believe it is. So I need direction from the board if there's a specific way you'd like to do this.
I would recommend the second one, open it up to the community, informing the community, letting them know exactly that we have a position open, and seeing if we do have, some type of interest from the community as far as that goes.
The individual that's currently there is still interested, no? Isn't Mrs.
Nancy.
Ms.
Nancy
Castillo?
Is
Yes,
she
sir.
still interested?
She is interested, so she has submitted a brief letter expressing her interest to continue in this position. And so, yes, to answer your question, yes.
Well, I mean, she has experience, and she's been there for several years. I don't know if she's still willing to do it. She's an ex-school teacher, was at Kennedy Gardens, resource teacher, and knows the district. And she's on that end now, so I don't know. I feel comfortable still having her working with us.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with either one of the decisions, I believe that maybe we just go ahead and open it. I would second a motion to open the position to see if there's anybody else in the community that would be interested in that.
Yeah, it's just for discussion, so I think the direction that we're going to give is, I understand that Ms. Castillo is open, but it's just like us. I mean, we can't say, you know what, well, I want to continue being a school board member. We have to go out there and, let the community know what our intentions are and stuff like that. So I want to go ahead and be as transparent as possible. And that's the reason why, if she's only one that's going to, put in for it, then so be it. We'll go ahead and continue with that. But at the same time, I think it's relevant for us to go ahead and open it up to the community and let them, if somebody has interest, let them also put something in, and then we'll decide at that point.
Sure, and there's just direction tonight, so the direction being that open it up, see if there's anyone else interested, and then I would bring that to the board at that time, who those names are.
Okay, all right, sounds good, thank you. L, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. One, approval of 22-23 unaudited actuals and 23-24 revised budget.
Thank you, President Alvarado. And on this one, we do actually have a required presentation on our unaudited actuals. So I'd like to ask at this point our CBO, Ms. Maribel Baez, to the podium.
Good evening, President, Mr. Alvarado, Board of Trustees, Mr. Jimenez, and members of the public present with us tonight. My name is Maribel Paez, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. And tonight I'll be presenting the 2022-23 unaudited actuals and 23-24 revised budget. So per Ed Code 421-100, on or before September 15, the governing board of each school district shall approve in a format prescribed by the Superintendent of Public Instruction an annual statement of all receipts and expenditures of the district for the preceding fiscal year, which is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, and shall file this statement with the County Superintendent of Schools, which is our Imperial County Office of Education. The unaudited actuals are prepared on SACS, which is the California Department of Education Financial System forms, and are only submitted once a year. This financial provide accurate information to the board, public, and auditors as how the district ended the fiscal year. This is actually unaudited actuals is actually the closing of the books. So all that we're pending at this time, it's for an independent auditor team to come and review, analyze, and offer an opinion on how we close the year as of June 30, 2023. And they're scheduled to come the last week in September, which starts on September 25th. As part of the California Department of Education require a couple financial statements. We do have all of these funds that we're responsible for, which is our Former 1, which is our general fund. We have our Form 8, a student activity fund, which is our ASB activity, or Form 11, adult education fund. We have Fund 12, which is our child development fund, or cafeteria fund, or deferred maintenance fund, building fund, which is our Measure Q, and it was our Measure B as well. And or Form 25, which is our capital facilities funds, or developer impact fees, actually goes all of the receivables for that account and expenditures going to Fund 25. We have our Form 35, which is our county school facility funds, which is all the state reimbursement that we get for all the facilities that are deposited into Fund 35. We have Fund 51, which is our bond interest and redemption fund, and this is actually monitored and held at the Treasurer's Office. This is for Measure Q and Measure B. And we have or Fund 67, which is self-insurance funds. And all of these financial statements are part of the unaudited package of 138 pages that I hope that everybody had the opportunity to review. As part of the, I just want to know that it is important for our stakeholders to know that many districts, county, state personnel, and our independent auditors are involved in the development and monitoring closing all of our budgets, all of the district budgets. So I just want to say that it is going to go into our independent external auditors or Imperial County Office of Education, and then will be submitted to our California Department of Education for review. As part of the financial statements, we also have supplemental reports that we have to comply at year end, which is average daily attendance. This is actually reporting the actual your P2 attendance report, your annual attendance report, and then your funded ADA as well for both unaudited actuals and your revised budget. So you will see that form and part of the package. We also have to comply with our current expense formula, or Form CEA, which is it requires that all the districts spend, and for a unified school district, it's actually 55%. We do have to spend in classroom instruction. So this is for all of our teachers' salary and our instructional assistants, and we are meeting that requirement as well. We're at 58.74. Also part of the year-end closing is the other reconciliation of all of your restricted funding or your categorical funding. We also have to comply with all of those forms that you see that right there, your indirect costs, your schedule of long-term liabilities, your debt form, your assets form, which is all the activity for all your capital projects and all your capital equipment that were purchased during the year. We do have to meet our special education maintenance of effort, which we are meeting. We do have to provide our local control funding formula calculator that's actually provided to FICMAC, to Imperial County Office of Education. Then they do send us those calculators, but we do have to just put it in our financial statement for stakeholders to review that calculator as well. And then our technical review report. Our general fund unrestricted. This is our general fund unrestricted. This is a comparison of how we projected under estimated actuals. So it was actually what we presented back in June 29. But just to give you an idea, it takes a couple of weeks, 8 to 12 weeks for development. So we actually started, all the original budget and estimated actuals back in April when we start, developing all those, position controls or forward year assignments, all of that that has to take place when you're developing a budget. So that was part in estimated actuals. For estimated actuals, we actually estimated 130 million. We came at 128 million with a difference of a 2.1 difference. That is actually, you can see the reasons for change for that. We did have a minor adjustment to our LCFF FICMAC calculator. We did have a reduction of ADA of 151.61. And this is actually due to a, I don't know if you remember, but back in March of 2023, we had Brian Hatley for Wilkinson Hatley, our independent auditor, come and actually present all of our audit report for 21-22. There was an audit finding for our independent study program back in 2021, and this is actually the written agreements that were either we had it missing or incomplete back in 2021. And this was due to the, I don't know if everybody remembers, but back in July 15, 2021, they do require a bill 181 for us to, for everybody to actually go into independent study. We had to develop a lot of policies and procedures, and we have to actually build an independent study school in a couple of weeks. We only had a couple of weeks to do all of this, and we had over 600 students in independent study. So some of the contracts were missing, for example, signatures. It was very hard for us to get parents to come and sign those agreements, especially some of them being afraid of coming in person and things like that. So this audit, a lot of districts are facing with the same audit for this independent study within agreement. So this is the impact. This is a financial impact of that finding in 21-22. Then we also have the new transportation fund allocation that was reimbursed as part of our LCFF. And then we had a fair market value adjustment that we always have to do at year end, as well as it's part of GASP 31 requirement. So at the end, if you do for estimated actuals, we actually surplus 124,000, and we actually came out at 90,000. So that was only a difference of about 33. So I can proudly say that the variance of budget versus actual, what we really planned, what we really budgeted for what we actually happened, it was extremely close. So for unrestricted general fund, it was a very, very close budget. At the end, the beginning fund balance that we projected to be, it's a 33 million, but with the unaudited actuals ending fund balance, it came to 33,649,000. So it was only that difference of 33,000. Any questions for or unrestricted side of the house?
Pretty close.
Yes.
The only question that I have or comment, when he came out, I do recall him coming out in regards to the
independent
studies. Wasn't that just a correction that we had to do? We were going to be held harmless. Isn't that accurate?
That's what we thought, but no, we actually have to. We received a letter from the state, and the state said, okay, do you want to go ahead and fight it, or do you want to actually go ahead and revise your 21-22 ADA? I did contact Imperial County Office of Education. I did contact other CBOs or other districts to, okay, what should we do? How? Because at the end of the, I mean, if you actually go and try to, and I also contacted the auditors back and said, if you go ahead and put and submit that you, for example, are gonna, fight this audit, it's gonna take, lawyers, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take, so we were recommending right now to move forward and revise your ADA with 151, because it's still a finding. It was
So
still,
when he-
we were not under
Correct.
compliance.
But my question is, so when he came over and he actually stated, when he went over some of the stuff, when he said they were going to be held harmless, that was inaccurate. He was incorrect when he stated that?
We are held harmless. So what's happening for 21-22, the state gave us a COVID-19 relief where we're actually using a greater yield, and I'm going to explain in a later slide, where we actually giving up all that money because we are getting the yield of absenteeism at a 95%.
Oh, okay.
We are getting that benefit. We are getting the benefit also of the 3-year average. So we are getting all those benefits in our revenue. But this is still a finding. And the fiscal impact was 151.61, and we do have to comply to that. And we had to make a revision to our 21-22 P2 attendance report.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'm not sure if we could go back and review the record, but if it was that on this piece, because I remember the state, and I feel this was very, and a lot of districts are in the same predicament, and are the same thing is happening to them. I was at another school district, and it was no lie. I mean, going through COVID was extremely difficult at the district level, trying to meet with all the compliances and everything that was going on. But when they came up with the independent study, the big piece that we were missing were parent signatures. And that was a big piece of the independent study contract, is that you had to have parent signatures. And the state did emphasize that a lot, and maybe because of where we're at and our community and what have you. And I know that it hit the Imperial Valley very, very strong, and there was, people passing away from COVID and stuff like that. It kept people from, wanting to go anywhere and go sign any paper. So I just couldn't imagine how it was right here, and so but yeah, we were hit by that audit finding.
Yeah, no, and I recall Lisa stating that we had some students that were, yes, I want to go to independent studies, and no, I don't want. So they were going back and forth. So that was some of the stuff that we were seeing also as well.
Yeah, it was an extremely difficult time in our lives. Hopefully we never have something like that again.
I think also from the explanation, you're taking a look at, you either lose the 151 or you lose a higher percentage, right? So the percentage may be a lot more money. You're looking at about $256,000 if you take the percentage, if you take the 151 over the percentage. So, we just got to look at it that way.
No, correct. When she said 95%, I'd rather take the 95% then.
Right.
And then the 151, let's say you fight it and you do win it, but then you take into account staff time.
149,000 spent on legal fees.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
you won it, but what did you really win? Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Well, we knew what the error was, and that was the error.
Yes.
The signatures.
Yes. Now is the general fund restricted. So this is all the categorical, the one-time funds. The major differences here is all that carry over, all those monies that we were not able to spend, that we received in 22-23, but we're not able to spend, that were carry over to 23-24. So if you see the change of negative 3.4 million for revenues, it's not that we're losing the revenue, is that we're just carrying over for 23-24. Then all those adjusted to expenditures, that is the difference of ending fund balance in the restricted general fund. It went from 31 million to 35 million. 35 million that is going to be carry over to 23-24. This is the unaudited actual general fund combined. So this is your unrestricted and restricted all together. as you can see there, the total revenues for 22-23 is 203 million. The total expenditures of 177 million, given us an excess of revenues over expenditures of the 26 million. So that is actually give us a ending fund balance of 68 million, 68.7. I do wanna note there that the components of ending fund balance shows that the 35 million of those are restricted. And this is due, the majority of this, such a large carryover from 22-23 to 23-24 is a Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant, almost 14 million that we got there that we haven't spent, and the Arts and Music and Instructional Materials of 4.6. So that it's the carryover there. Another thing that I want to note, as one of the presentations from School Services of California, the average unrestricted general fund for a unified school district is about 22%, and we're at 17.35. Then when you actually close the books, you also need to update your revised budget, your 23-24 budget. Why? Because all of that true carryover, unearned revenue, all of those things that happen at year end, after you do all the journal entry, closing entries, then you have true numbers, and then for that reason, you have to do a revised budget for 23-24. So this is the revised budget, general fund unrestricted, so 23-24. There's not major changes there, as you can see. It's the number one change for the LCFF is what I already discussed, which was the loss of the 151, and then other minor adjustments to expenditures. So the changes from 23-24, at the original budget, we projected a beginning balance of 33,683,000. We're actually at closing with 33,649,000. So that is a minor revision to our beginning balance for 23-24. Another thing that I want to note there, that for original budget, we are projecting to end the year June 30, 2024, with a surplus of revenues over expenditures of 2.9. For our revised budget, that actually got adjusted to 2.7. You can see there minor changes to our revised budget. This is the general fund restricted. The general fund restricted is where the majority of the activity happened, and that actually, the beginning fund balance for that actually grew from 31 million that was estimated to 35 million. And another thing that I want to point in this slide is that the deficit spending projection for 23-24 under the general fund restricted budget is due to the one-time funds received in 22-23 and carry over to 23-24. So, just explain it as everybody, easy to understand. It's not that we have a true deficit spending, is that the funds have already been received and they're actually in your cash balance. So you see the 35 million. The 35 million are actually sitting in the bank to be spent. So that's the reason for the deficit spending, because the money has already been received in 22-23. Then with that, we have the combined revised budget, which is the general fund combined unrestricted and restricted. If you combine all of your restricted and unrestricted for your 23-24, the beginning fund balance of 68.7, with the net increase of decrease, with your deficit spending of 25 million due to the restricted side of the house, it's giving us a total of 43 million that we're projecting to June 30 of 2024. We also have components of ending fund balances there. The percentage of cash reserves is 15.93. I do want to point that from the unrestricted available fund balance of 33 million, The district's monthly operating expenses that includes payroll, benefits, accounts payable, utilities, all of our operations within a month. It's about 15 to 18 million. So the 33 million, as you see, it's not such a large reserve. I also want to point that the apportionment from the state, we receive it until the last day of the month. So we have a whole month that we don't receive that main source of revenue until the last day of the month, and we have already to pay benefits, payroll, accounts payable, everything that we have to. So we have to have reserves in order for us to operate on a daily basis. And I just wanted to give you a breakdown of all of the one-time restricted funds that we have been receiving. As you can see, the expanded learning, a lot of those monies that were not spent in 22-23 were carry over. So you can see there the last one, the learning recovery, those 13 million, all that carry over. So it's just kind of a detailed breakdown of all of those one-time funds that were carry over. And that what gives you the 35 million for the restricted balance. Fiscal outlook ahead. I just want to point that the declining enrollment in ADA. If we see the table, we started declining enrollment since 2018, 2019. It's been a total from 18. Going back to 2018-19 to now of about over 1,000 students. Right now, the enrollment as of September 8, it's 8,122, and the enrollment for 22-23, it was 8,353. So we are being losing students of about 200 to 300 every year. On top of that, we have chronic absenteeism. So our year absenteeism also, it went from like a 95 that we had average to like a 92, 91. So this year we haven't made the calculations for this year, but I hope there is an improvement on ADA. As remember that we get fund on ADA and not enrollment. Our students coming every day to school. Health and welfare benefit increases. Unfunded programs, general fund, which is special education, routine restricted maintenance, or workers' comp rates, pension employer rate increases. All of those are challenges that we're all facing. Closing notes: the state's unprecedented cost of living adjustment COLA, the 8.22 for 23-24, was a great benefit for school districts. However, schools in California are foreseeing the following concerns. We are foreseeing future state revenues which have a direct impact on school funding, expiration of historic one-time restricted revenues, the balancing loss of enrollment with staffing ratios. So we must continue to make every effort to closely monitor our budget and remain fiscally solvent and fulfill all of our financial commitments. And do you guys have any questions?
Board, do you guys have any questions?
No. Thank you for your
Thank you.
presentation.
I just really quick want to give this opportunity to thank, Mr. Jimenez for his leadership, Board of Trustees for all of your support, and all of my staff I know some of them are here present. Thank you so much, for all your hard work and dedication to the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms.
So
Pais.
with that said, do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Ms. Contreras, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 2, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Quinch for school drinking water filtration system at Jefferson Elementary School.
So move. Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 3, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and SLA Paving Incorporated to install 2 bollards and paint a no parking zone sign in front of the California Air Resource Board container at the Maintenance and Operations parking lot.
So move. Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 4, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Johnson Controls for on-call repairs and maintenance for the fire alarm systems district-wide. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Right, question. All we
go
need is $10,000 in that.
Yes, sir. It's as needed. So if we were to
Bring it back.
surpass the 10,000, we'd come back to the board. But it's when we need them, to pay them at the moment.
Okay.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 405. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Padre Associates Incorporated to provide environmental services for the removal action phase 2 for the modernization project at Calexico High School.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 406. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Lego Education to provide professional development to the expanded learning program tutors for the 23-24 school years.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, and I'll go ahead and second that. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 407. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and ProSolve to provide professional development to the expanded learning program tutors for the 23-24 school year. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 408. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Dave Bang Associates Incorporated for the replacement and installation of damaged shade at Blanche Charles Elementary School playground.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 9, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and W2W Sport for installing sport impact floor at the weight room at Calexico High School, 9th grade. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 10, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Carlos Neon Signs for pillar and stairs decals and repairs at Cesar Chavez Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 11, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and My Kid Pack School Portrait and Yearbooks Pimentel Studio for school photography services for the 23-24 and 24-25 school years.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye. Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 12, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Monarch Iconography Studio for school photography services for the 23-24, 24-25 school years.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Contreras.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. 13, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Pioneers Memorial Health Care District for clinical experience for Robert F. Morales adult education students. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 14, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial Valley Mesa for Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement Program for the Calexico High School, Enrique Camarena, and Willie Moreno Junior High Schools for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 15, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Soft Choice for Microsoft software licenses. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 16, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Zona for electronic verification of pupil riders, bus telematics, and electronic verified inspection reporting for the fiscal year 23-24. I'll make a motion to approve.
So the use of this is it really?
It's our GPS system.
Yeah. So
on-
that's
oh yeah, we
For our
we
students.
get a lot
Data.
of analytics. A lot of analytics. Yes.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 17, bid award and approval of agreement between Calexico Unified School District and True Line Construction and Servicing Incorporated for the tennis court restoration at Calexico High School. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 18, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Wested to administer the California survey system for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco. Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Number 19, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for 2 additional school-based mental health specialists for high school students during the 23-24 and 24-25 school year. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 20, renewal of memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Behavioral Health Services for the mentored internship program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 21, approval of the request for proposal on behalf of the Imperial County School Food Service Cooperative for food, paper, and products and produce products for the food service department. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. 22, approval of change order number 1 to the agreement with Gigacom for internal connection wireless system. I'll make a motion, but with the question.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. With that change order, is there, hold on. There's no
34
impact,
thir-
no financial
34
impact, right?
3,400.
Yeah, it's 3,400.
3,400? All right, that's what I was trying to see right now.
Major.
Yeah, all right.
I thought originally 900.
Yeah. With that said, there's a motion. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 23, application for categorical programs for continued funding in Title I, Part A, Title II, Part A, Title III, Immigrant, Title III, Limited English Proficient, LEP, and Title IV, Part A for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 24, notice of completion for the fencing project at district office. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 25, recognition of Booster Club Clásico Club de Fútbol for the fiscal year 23-24.
Football.
Football.
Soccer.
Soccer.
So move.
A motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 26, adoption of new job descriptions, Director of District Safety and High School Band Director. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 27, adoption of certificated management salary schedules. Motion to approve.
Question?
Go
Second.
ahead. Second by Mr. Pacheco. Go ahead with the question.
This is for last year.
Yes, sir. So it happened whenever we created a brand new job description, the board approved that job description now, and we identified that new position to be on the same salary of the high school principal. So now we need to formally approve that salary on that column, and so it could be recognized and we submit it. Yeah. So it's something that already exists, something that the board already approved. It's just recognizing that salary on that column of the high school principal.
Okay. So that's it. We're good. So motion to approve. Correction. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. 28, resolution designating persons to sign school orders.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by myself, and that's a resolution. Ciara?
Yeah.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. 29, resolution adopting the GAN limit for fiscal year 23-24.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Contreras.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pacheco. Ciara?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Myself, yes. 30, certificated employment report.
So move. We did.
Second.
Yeah, it's recommended, President Alvarado and Board of Trustees to approve the certificate employment report as is, with including the appointments that were made tonight out of closed session.
Correct. There's a motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion gets approved 4-0. 31, classified employment report.
Move for
As
approval.
is.
To approve as is.
As is. So motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. We'll skip M, go to skip N and O. Announcement of actions taken in closed session that was already discussed. There was nothing. P, adjournment.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye. Aye. Motion passes
Aye.
4-0. Thank you. Have a good night. And
You guys
enjoy
don't get a
Thursday night
vote,
football.
you guys.
Vikings and.
We have a staff meeting right.